And welcome back inside Sunday Brunch from 107.7. My name is Rennie Bishop. It's good to have you on what looks to be a very decent and nice temperature, nice weather outside. My guest is Pt.2, Scoon, and you know him. He's the executive chairman of the group that hosts the International Soca Monarch competition. That's Caribbean Prestige Foundation. We are talking about a number of issues that are in the public domain with regards to the Soca Monarch. I just asked him, and he acquiesced to take some telephone calls. You've got some questions for Mr. Scoon regarding the Soca competition. You're free to call us at 628-2250, 628-2250, and 628-9107. That's 628-2250 and 628-9107. The whole conflation of the Soca Monarch Groovy Monarch competition is part of our discussion this morning. The organization of it, the need to record and not do it live, the need to get more people involved in it to get the nation locked into this national treasure. It is this national treasure that leads me to my question of a mentoring program, Mr. Scoon, that your organization has embarked on. Please explain that for me.
Okay, the organization also puts on the National Junior Soca Monarch, National School Soca Monarch, which is for children between the age of 16 and 19. Mm-hmm. That's not to say that they can be between you can't enter the big competition, because Jeremy Rodriguez did enter the big competition and make it to the semis. Okay. So this competition is the breeding ground for the soca artists to develop into the superstars. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And we have decided to do a mentoring program where we encourage the senior artists to basically adopt a child and mentor this child over the year, in performing and writing and in the art of entertainment and music. And that's it. And I mean, we are getting good traction.
Yes, a wonderful
Not
thing.
only from the soca artists, but also from the government, who thinks it's an excellent product.
It's a very good initiative, because that is the way we pass it on. One of the problems we have is our inability or our inadequate passing on of the talent. And then the next thing we do is we complain, we're not hearing this, we're not hearing that, but we're not teaching them in the proper way to go about it. Reminding our listeners that we are taking telephone calls at 628-2250, 628-2250, and 628-9107 to ask any questions of Mr. Scoon on the question of the soca competition. Are you having one breakout artist and two wildcard artists this year who will be joining the 15 artists that will be selected for the semifinals? Explain to me the breakout artist, who is going to judge that breakout artist, and at the same time further explain the wildcard artists for me.
The breakout artist is an initiative to encourage the younger artists who enter the competition, who have not really won Soca Monarch, and to excel, and also to be picked by their peers and the general public as a
breakout artist,
not as a breakout artist, but as one of the top artists coming out of the country for the year. Who have not really won Soca Monarch, but you're picked by social media. It's a social media driven product.
Social media driven. And how is the judging for that done?
It's judged by social media. Who have more votes win.
And one person can vote.
If you have your peers voting for you over and over, it's one by that.
You can have the same person voting over and over again.
Well, not one a day, probably.
One. Yeah, I kind of have a problem with that. Even where's the first place I saw that tried was the American Idol.
Yeah.
And I went okay, I got my family, and they're gonna sit down there 24/7 and just go hitting you all the time.
But I think they have it as one a day, because you can read IP addresses and know.
Yes, you can.
What
yes,
you can throw out, and we have had to do that too. It's a developing product.
All right, so that is as it relates to the breakout and wildcard artists.
Yeah.
All right, take me into the question.
Well, the wildcard is different. The wildcard.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The wildcard was designed strictly for the competition, International Soca Monarch, so that the public could bring. Okay, after we pick 15, there's going to be 1 million stories and articles and complaints about why this one didn't get it and why the other one didn't get it.
Always going to have that.
It is up for the public now to bring back these two artists via social media.
There's a big difference between performing in a concert where you can get the audience to sing your song and being inside of a competition where everybody should hear what you're putting forward. How do you
I
feel
have a
about
problem with it too, and I can't answer that. I will suggest that I get one of the chief judge back on the station to answer those questions.
The international soca competition is what we are talking about with Mr. Scoon, the area of the prize money. Let's talk about that. Many say that it is a competition. They agree, they understand. There are expenses, they understand. But a lot of folks saying that the prize money could always be better. That's what we keep hearing all the time. This year is particularly challenging. Because, you've lost, how many of your sponsors on a percentage basis would you say you've lost this year or not had return?
We haven't really lost any sponsors per se. But the prize money was predominantly sponsored by the government of Trinidad and Tobago. And that has been cut for obvious reasons, because of the recession and
tough times.
I mean, the prize structure now, before was Power at 2 million and the Groovy at 1 million. So condensed down into one now. The first prize will be 1 million, second prize 750, third prize 500, and from 4 to 15, 100,000.
So the prizes sound, just on the face of it, it's good money.
It's good money. The issue I have with it, though, is the lower prizes. I wish I could have brought it up a little bit, because the artists put out a lot.
I get the feeling that you're reading into my notes. That was my follow-up question, but you preemptively struck me there. Yes,
in terms of their presentation and the props and the fireworks and the pyro that they have to use. Those are very expensive things to do. But the prize, there's a cherry at the top, and it's not only about the money that they get, but it's the exposure and the development that they get. Exposure
and development, yes. I am encouraged, particularly when I hear of special prizes going for writers, as this would bolster the quality of the soca product. The same for production and presentation.
I'm not sure that's going to be on this year because of the recession. We don't have the funding for that as yet.
Oh, I was really encouraged on that.
Yeah, I am very encouraged too.
Just took back my encouragement, didn't you?
But it all depends on funding. If there's any sponsor out there that's willing to come on board, please do.
The arrangements we have now for the pay-per-view, one of the things we found, and this was in discussion with Dr. Tull last week, is that sometimes we have to come to agreements with bodies that will take the product without us actually getting home a lot of money in the upfront, because really it works as a promotion for what we are doing. The distribution of this pay-per-view, is that the only way you plan to get this across to the rest of the world, or is this a pay-per-view event that after a certain time, like 6-8 months down the line, that it becomes available for television outlets throughout the world? Not at that exorbitant cost.
6 months.
But not at that exorbitant cost.
Not at that exorbitant cost. It's an experiment that we're doing. Why? Because there's no other place to make income in this event or any entertainment event. There's no real element that we could make any additional money to help develop the show other than the pay-per-view. And on top of that, the second thing is that the pay-per-view is about developing the music outside. It's exposing it to the world. We are trying to expose it to the whole of North America and Canada, not the diaspora. We are promoting it on every cable station throughout the United States and America. United States and Canada. And then now we are trying to head it to England and Africa. We have to go there. It's the only place to expose it.
And
the only thing we really have to expose is the music of Trinidad and Tobago. We are promoting Trinidad and Tobago. Nothing else.
Via the soca competition.
Via the soca.
All of the carnival is a product that we can export. We just have to keep working harder at it. This year, am I correct that 2016, the finals will be your competition will transform into a breakfast party? Is that right?
No.
Oh, good. Okay, I was trying to say, okay, you got your hands full already at the stadium.
All those are plans that were before the recession hit.
So that was on the drawing board.
It was on the drawing board.
Would be a very good idea because it's a great source of revenue, isn't it? I mean, it's stretching your organization thin, but it is a great source of revenue. You take the folks just out of that event and you take them out into, take them into a breakfast party kind of thing.
It was less about revenue, and more about trying to keep the. Okay, there's a crime situation in Trinidad and Tobago, and we thought about keeping the people there for the night.
Keep them safe, yes.